James Cooper, Managing Director of Flipside AV. So we had an existing relationship with DEPOP from having done their Curtin Road office previously. This office was previously used by another company, so there was a fit-out process and a fit-out contractor who was very much in, repurpose, out. It is multitudes larger than their previous office. The meeting rooms were a new thing. The previous office, we hadn't fitted out any of the meeting rooms, especially these two boardrooms, well, the two boardrooms, one of which we're sitting in now. So those were added in, and the use of a second event space. They've always been very big on town hall meetings, very kind of immersive and inclusive AV setups for those meetings. We'd used some of the BirdDog cameras previously on other installs, so actually counterintuitively that we had decided on BirdDog before we had specced out fully the meeting room spaces. We started with the event spaces, and each of the event spaces has a pair of BirdDog P200s in it. They run NDI for them to be able to do sort of clever switching, kind of more produced events and more, you know, kind of recorded stuff, broadcast stuff, company-wide stuff. But also one of them sends SDI back to a converter under the floor that just presents them with a USB and embedded audio on it to make a kind of bring your own device usable open collaboration space. But we really like the P200s. They look great. The price point on them is, you know, perfect. They're super reliable. NDI being built in means we can do this kind of dual purpose setup with it. And then we finalised the spec for the meeting rooms. Again, we've used the P100s before. Similar use case. The fact that we've got NDI built into what is a pretty cost-effective little camera, as well as USB, means we could set it up really easily to be USB into the local device sitting at the top of the room, and still have them on the network for NDI, so that there's functionality built in. DEPOP had previously always worked with Mac Minis behind all of the screens for all of the meeting rooms, and they'd run on Zoom. Super nice, super easy. It meant we could have NDI installed on them, cableless. Just, it's on the network, it's there, install the drivers, off you go. During the process, after we had been appointed for this, the Etsy buyout of DEPOP happened, and as part of that they insisted that they move on to Google Meet and use the Google Meet hardware throughout all of the spaces. That meant the spec for a lot of the meeting rooms changed, and it presented us with a problem for the boardrooms, where obviously the Google Meet proprietary hardware cannot in any way integrate with virtually anything, let alone NDI. So in the end, we thankfully had already spec'd the P100s in here, meaning we did have a USB. We had a simple USB straight out of the camera locally in. So that got us around that one. Besides the cameras, we're also using the BirdDog encoders and decoders, the NDI encoders and decoders. I think DEPOP have been really happy with it. I think they were surprised at the kind of level of utility that they had available to them, because you kind of have this hidden system. You have the front end that they're presented with, meeting room hardware, the event space hardware, the obvious utility, the BYOD stuff, but then behind it, the IT team have this whole kind of wealth of potential that they can access. They can do all sorts of clever stuff. They can, pull rabbits out the hat when they get weird requests from, from other teams, and that's kind of important, or was important to me, was to just try and champion them as a team, to try and give them all of the tools they needed to kind of perform miracles here that people didn't expect that you could do. Like I say, they're sort of hidden technologies. They're there. They're just available. Everything's on the network, because most of the stuff in here is powered by PoE. Everything needs to be on the network for us, for setup, for all of that stuff. And once it's there, it's pretty much zero config, just NDI is also there. So, well, if it's all there on the network, what can you do with it? You can do all of this stuff with it.